Hello, everyone. Welcome to the stream. Hope everybody's having a good week so far. We have a few more little hellos here at the beginning. Hello from the Reloaded channel. Hello from the Debunks channel. It is Monday night. I was thinking, like, am I off by a day? Am I off? Like, is my internal clock off? What's up, McLeod? How you doing? And no, I was like, it's Monday. It feels like this weekend just went by very quickly, but I think it's because it was Easter and I was super busy this weekend. I mean, super busy. It was crazy. Like, just the overall vibe was pretty wild. So everybody, if you did celebrate Easter, I hope you guys had a good holiday. If you didn't, I hope you enjoyed your weekend. Right now, it is just me. There's no one else here at the moment. The link went out in the green room. I don't think Darren's coming. He was streaming right before I went live. So I don't think Darren's coming. My beard is a mess tonight. I don't know about Paigey. Paigey posted something earlier in the group, but I haven't really heard anything from Paigey today. Not since earlier this evening. So I don't know. 3Dub, I messaged. I haven't heard anything back from 3Dub. Thank you for the compliment about my shirt, by the way. I haven't heard anything from 3Dub, so if he shows up, I'll send the link over to him. Let's see. Eating banana pudding. All right. That's cool. Yeah. So this is one of my first Funko Pop shirts. It was laundry day. Seriously, I was like going through and trying to figure out what I was going to wear for the stream. Like, I don't have a lot with me right today, so my beard is just an absolute mess. You guys don't know, I hate, like, if I'm on stream and my beard looks disheveled, it triggers me. It annoys me to no end. Yeah, Lone Wolf, I saw that. I haven't looked yet, though. It's been a busy weekend. I haven't really looked at much. But I do have some stuff. We have a whole thread of stuff to look at for Superman Day. I know it's a couple days late, but I want to talk about it. Like a whole Twitter thread full of things. All the toys, all of that stuff. We're going to look at the behind the scenes Superman video. We are going to look at a Red Guardian video that I don't know where it came from. Have you guys seen the Red Guardian video? I'm not sure where it came from. I'll have to look. I think it might be an official thing. So I'm not sure. Andor, was there more Andor stuff that came out? When is Andor out now? No, it comes out tomorrow. Yeah, we can talk about Andor a little bit on Thursday if people have a chance to watch it. I did watch Last of Us, the most recent episode. Give a thumbs up in the chat if you've seen Last of Us this week. Came out last night. But let me know. Give me a thumbs up if you guys have, because I'm very curious who's seen it and who hasn't seen it. This week we could talk about it a little bit, I guess. You're not late. We literally just got started. What else do we have to talk about tonight? We have a few things. Let's see here. I haven't seen Sinners yet, but we are going to talk about it. Not about the movie. Like, I'm not going to talk about anything in the film because I haven't seen it, so I don't want to, like, spoil anything for anybody. But I want to talk a little bit about the all the arguing and fighting online. I don't know if you guys have kept up with it, but Variety put out a tweet that's kind of triggered people. And we're going to look at some of the responses to that. More and more I'm seeing that, like, some of the trades are starting to post kind of like chuddy stuff. Like, it feels like they're going for clickbait a little bit, which is unfortunate because you look at places like Hollywood Reporter, you look at places like Variety, Deadline, and you want to go to an outlet that is going to give you information without sensationalizing it. And I feel like we're getting some weird shit with that. So yeah, we'll talk about that as well. Anyway, there is a goal, both on the Debunks channel and the Reloaded channel. If you would like to contribute to the goal, we're going to set it up for 2 hours. I will start polls around 30 minutes-ish towards the end of the stream. For like to vote on what it is. So Mario here says, watch Snow White this weekend. Flawed but enjoyable film. Really, though, the grifter narrative about the film is just utter nonsense. I think it's a mid movie. That's all I don't have much of an opinion about Snow White. It's not really my, like, Snow White isn't my vibe. I'm okay. I am totally okay with a movie not having me as the target audience. So I'm okay for that. So, yeah. The 5-hour stream, we're discussing it now to figure out who can be here. As soon as I can lock in like 2 or 3 people, then we'll do the 5-hour stream. I just need to get some responses from guests to make sure they can be here. Because me sitting here for 5 hours with no guests would be very boring. I think anyway. So I'd like to have some guests that are like not necessarily guaranteed to show up, but are more than likely to show up. But yeah. All right. So let's go ahead. Should we look at the merchandise first? I'll let you guys decide quickly in the chat. Should we look at the merchandise first for Superman Day, or should we look at the behind the scenes video? Let me know what you guys want to do. I have a Twitter thread with like all the toys and stuff. So we could definitely talk about the toys and all the merch and stuff like that, or we can do the behind the scenes video. Let me know in the chat. Actually, you know what? Let's do a quick poll. I'm going to do a quick poll on here to see what you guys want to watch first. Behind the scenes or merch. I'm going to leave this up for a couple minutes so you guys can vote on it. Because I feel like asking you in the chat is not great. There's the poll. I'll do it over on the Debunks channel too. Start a poll. Behind the scenes or merch. I'll let you guys vote for a couple minutes before we get into it. I'll check both of them. Oh, wait, we have a person just popped in. Darren has arrived. I wasn't sure if you were going to be here or not. You were live, so... I
was live. I just quit. And I wasn't going to hop in, but I saw you kind of by yourself. I was like, you know what? I'll spend a couple minutes in here.
That's cool, yeah. I don't really know. I haven't heard from anybody. It's one of those things... You know, every once in a blue moon, I will say, hey, does anybody want to come in? And, of course, I don't expect people to necessarily come on, but... Usually somebody will do like a little like thumbs up or fire emoji or something like that. I didn't see any response from anyone. And 3Dub, oddly enough, who always wants to be on, you know what I mean? Like he's always very enthusiastic about being here, who's been here the last few weeks or whatever. He has not been available all day. So I don't know what's up with that with 3Dub. So like I said, if he shows up in the chat, I'll send him a link. Mike Beer says, hello, everyone. I hope everyone on stream and chat are doing well. And if not, I hope things get better for you. I appreciate it, Michael. Thank you so much. How was your stream, by the way? We're going to give people a chance to vote. So, like, give a little small talk. How did your stream go?
It was
good vibes.
It was good. It was long. We had so much to talk about. We did, like, the celebration stuff. We did Doctor Who. We did Last of Us and Daredevil. Like, it was a crazy week. By the way, have you seen the new Last of Us yet?
Yeah. I was kind of gauging the chat to see if people wanted to talk about it at all, because... I have a few thoughts on it that I'd love to chat about. Like, if you've already seen it, we can definitely talk about it. Because the only real thing I was going to go over tonight, honestly, was the Superman Day stuff. Which, to be fair, it wasn't, like, mind-blowing. There's a video and some merch stuff. But there's a lot of people. I did see a comment up here from Lone Wolf. There's a lot of people who got, like, I think they received from, like, Warner Brothers UK some... merch or something from Superman, like t-shirts or something like that, and somebody on, I think it was this troll on Twitter who does this a lot, called out Boba for receiving a shirt saying that proves that he's not an unbiased person. And I thought that's an unfair statement to make. Like, there's a lot of people on YouTube that get things that don't disclose them. So how do you know if somebody's being biased or not? You know what I mean?
You can work for a company and still like criticize the company. Like that happens a lot. Like,
I mean, it's a T-shirt. I'm not going to say I know for certain, but I don't think Boba is going to like whore himself out for a Superman T-shirt. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that's true. I think that's one of those things where people on Twitter take things too far. Like,
I mean, I'd happily take a T-shirt.
I would love a T-shirt.
Send
but
one my way, wonderful.
Yeah. And look, Cody says because Ben got one too. Yeah, I think it is UK. Yeah, I think.
Well, that one makes sense then.
So, yeah,
no, I was kidding.
Yeah, exactly. No. I mean, like, I hear about a lot of people who take things like, so if you're getting invited to red carpets and you're getting to like meet the actors and you're doing that consistently, I would say yes. There's probably a little like you're not going to push really hard on the negativity because you want to go do these things. But I don't hold that against anybody. Like if you just want to be a positive influencer and you don't really care about talking negatively about stuff, I don't have a problem with that. I would prefer people to be honest, but I get it. You know, it makes sense.
I think I think that's kind of going away a little bit though. Like really, like I feel like a lot of these TikTokers that go to these events and these things, like you would expect them to be chilling and everything, but like they're yelling on their phones, they're saying how bad these things are, and it's like I do wonder if we've kind of entered this era of like all press is good press. Like even people yelling at their phones that they hated it still helps the movie.
The thing about it is this goes back to like we talked about this I don't know a few weeks ago. I'm one of those people that I do this consistently, you do this consistently, and we don't get invited to we don't get free stuff. You know what I mean? I think you just have to be in a certain, like...
You have to know people.
Yeah, you have to be in a certain spot. Like, for a good example, I think Boba and Ben are both loosely connected to, like, DC World. I think that... Isn't it DC World, the guy that does all the promotion stuff or whatever for Warner Brothers? So they've got someone they know, and he probably... made things connect, and that's how they all sort of interact with each other. But Boba has been critical of stuff. Like I've watched Boba's videos. He doesn't just glaze everything. He's said when he's not happy about stuff. I mean, Ben's another story. It's all glazing from Ben, but Boba definitely not. You know what I mean? All right, so let's go ahead because we're already 15 minutes in. I'm going to check and see what the polls are. Let's check the Debunks channel and end the poll and see what everyone says there. So over on the Debunks channel, you guys have voted for... Is it going to pop up for me? No? Hold on. YouTube, I swear. 100% behind the scenes video on the Reloaded channel, okay, or the Debunks channel. Let's see what you guys voted over here in the poll. And over here it is 52% behind the scenes video. So I guess we're going to be watching the video first. And that's good because guess what? I haven't seen the whole video. So it's going to be my first time sort of seeing the whole behind the scenes video. I will say this, he's not here, but I'm going to disclose our private messages because I just feel like it. Paigey did not, as far as I know, was not super impressed with the behind the scenes video. So I mean, did you see it? Obviously you talked about it in your
I saw it. I mean, I think that's fine. There's not a lot to be impressed with. Like, it's really cool, but it's kind of just stuff we've already heard, already knew. I think there's only like 2 shots where I'm like, oh, that's cool, but maybe 3. But it's like they like that trailer just clearly wasn't ready yet, or they would have put that trailer out. So they're like, this isn't ready yet. Here's a little behind the scenes thing just to hold people over,
right? Because
if they wouldn't have put anything out, people would have been pissed.
I think the reason why a lot of people were also disappointed is because we just got a Fantastic Four trailer that was really good.
They impressed.
And I think they probably didn't feel good about it.
You're right.
So that might have been a big reason why. All right, it's only 2 minutes. We're going to just watch it straight through, and then we'll talk about it. Because like you said, if there's not a ton, it's probably just a few things to discuss. But there is a full thread of like toys and stuff that I'd like to like sort of scan through as well. So let's watch this behind-the-scenes video and see what we got here. I do want to say, I hate to pause it so soon into it because it's only 30 seconds, but you got flagged for this? Lance says he got flagged for this.
Lance did, yeah.
Like flagged as in you had to take it out of your video? Or flagged as in you got a strike? Did you have to take it out of your video? I'm just to be curious. If I have to take it out, that's fine. I don't care about that. I can remove it after we're done. Also, it's just a copyright claim. Okay, that's not a big deal. I can take it out afterwards. By the way, if you're watching this now and the video is gone, that's the reason why. So I will say that from what I can tell, the way they're doing the promotion for this film feels to me like they're trying to connect with people's emotional, like
100%.
feelings towards Superman, because they don't care too much about like, look at this character or watch this cool scene or anything like that. They're going back to that old school, like, this is how we felt growing up watching Superman, and this is how I'm approaching making this movie. Do you think that's a smart way to do it, considering where things are?
100%. Yeah, I think they're connecting with people's emotions with this more than your classic superhero movie, even to the point that they've made James Gunn a character within this narrative, right? Like in this trailer, it's depicted as someone like, I don't really know what it means to me. I don't know why this character is, and they're building it up as like, now I found it. Like, it feels like very like documentary, very inspiring. Even the point, like, having such a focus on crypto, I think is another attempt at that, of like
an emotion. I want to say emotional manipulation. That sounds bad, but I think that's actually what they're doing here. Is like a little bit of emotional manipulation.
Well, James Gunn has always done that in every one of his comic book movies. If it's like Ratcatcher 2, if it's Rocket, if it's Roots, if it's whatever it may be, like he's always done this, and it kind of works every time. Yeah. Like, I love it every time, so it's not a complaint.
Yeah, so those robots are practical?
Mm-hmm. I think it's a mix of both CGI and practical, but there's a lot of practical stuff in this trailer, yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm a little bit mind blown. I actually thought they were 100% CGI.
They look good. They look really good.
That's pretty crazy. Okay. Some people online saying that they were I can't remember who it was now, and I didn't bookmark it. I probably should have. That they had like Henry Cavill's Superman next to David Corenswet, and it said, which one would criminals be more afraid of?
I saw that too. Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not you fundamentally don't understand Superman if this is your take, because Superman doesn't strike fear into people. Yeah. That's not who the character. That's Batman. Batman is a character that strikes fear, and part of that is he's a regular guy. He's out there fighting in the streets. He wants to be scary because he wants criminals to be disarmed and concerned about this bat guy coming after them. Superman is a hopeful character. He's meant to inspire people to be better versions of themselves. That's what it's always been about. That's part of the reason why you have that dichotomy between Superman and Batman, and why they're such different characters at their core, because they're very, the design of the characters, from everything from the way they dress to the way they operate to the way they carry themselves, very different. But if you think that is this the one?
Yeah.
Okay, let me pull this up. Okay, here we go. But if you think that Superman's intent is to scare people,
yeah,
I don't think you understand Superman. I actually think that Zack Snyder's take on Superman, seeing tweets like this, has fundamentally, maybe even irreparably damaged a portion of comic book fans to Superman. Because if your takeaway is this, I mean, it doesn't really matter what iteration it is. If you're mad that a Superman is hopeful, you've lost the plot at that point.
I've been very open where, like, I haven't loved, like, that take on Superman. But even then, like, someone who's not the biggest fan, I don't think this is what Zack Snyder intended at all. No. I really don't. Like this is, I don't think that's what he intended. I think there's a lot of dark colors. I think it's a little bit more serious, and I think it's evolved somewhere along the way. It's evolved that a more violent Superman is the better Superman for some people, and it's very strange. And I've enjoyed these last couple of years, at least on the smaller scale so far, of like us trying to reprogram Superman fans. Started with Superman and Lois. It then extended to My Adventures. And I think this will hopefully be the final nail in the coffin of like, oh, this is what Superman can be. This is what it should be, can inspire. Yeah. And I'll say it, like, I think someone in the comments said it, where it's like, yes, Zack Snyder did a little bit of that, right? But most of it has been all the like variants of Superman, the
Right.
Homelanders, the Omni-Mans, the Brightburns, the in I think Injustice actually did the worst damage. Injustice ruined a lot for DC.
Yeah. Also, I think I've talked about this a lot on Twitter, obviously, but media literacy is really in a bad spot right now because of social media. I think the meme culture has sort of ruined the ability to really analyze the kind of media that people are watching.
I agree.
Because they get fed the programming. They get told, like, this is the way you're supposed to feel about this thing, and they just run with that. I mean, the reality is, the tweet here says, if you're a criminal in Metropolis, which Superman would you be more afraid of? Superman is so incredibly powerful, you should just know that he's going to be able to stop you. You know what I mean? Like, it's not about fear. It's about, like, understanding that this is Superman. And unless you are someone like Lobo or, Darkseid or something, unless you're one of those people, fear is unnecessary when it comes to Superman. It's not even a necessary tool that he has to wield. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, it's weird. Read the comments. I don't know. I feel like Twitter could be bad, but I will slowly scroll through the comments here. Wait, it's cringe to be scared of an alien that can destroy a whole planet at any moment. What am I missing? Well, Tio, it's cringe because Superman isn't supposed to be a scary superhero. That's not... I mean, are we thinking of Punisher or something? Like, that's not Superman. So this is a big red flag already here. John says, why is this cringe? Wait, hold on. How many people do you have? So, wow. A lot of followers to be this wrong. Why is this cringe? Have you read any Superman comics other than All-Star? Believe me when I say there's nothing wrong with acknowledging that criminals fear Superman, and they should to an extent. Right, but they don't... It's not because one is Henry Cavill and one is David Cornsweet. Like, that's the issue here. Like I said earlier, you know that Superman can stop you. So the fear is in the power that Superman has, not which one looks more intimidating. You know what I mean? That's...
Sure,
what kind of take is that? Like, like if you put Henry and David in front of me and said, which one are you the most afraid of? I'm going to be like, both of them. They're both Superman.
Right. Yeah. That's so silly logic, because like that applies to literally any superhero in comics ever. That even goes to like any law enforcement ever in anything. Like you should be afraid. You're breaking the law. Yeah. You're going to go to prison.
Valid question. Jesus. Here we go. Lethal levels of cringeworthy. I single critique this guy has about the new movie has any credibility because it's all rooted in his love for Cavill and refusing to accept Cornsweet. I think that is the main takeaway from this, is the people that love Cavill as Superman, and this is something I've noticed pretty much since this whole thing started. They love Cavill as Superman, but they don't care about Cavill as an actor. And they don't care about the fidelity of Superman from the comics. It really is as simple as they want Zack Snyder's Cavill as Superman. That's it.
Yeah.
There's no more conversation to be had. I mean,
there's no working around with them. Like we've talked about this previously, but like we pitched around the idea of like I'd like maybe an animated Zack Snyder's universe or whatever. Like that'd be cool. They wouldn't want it because it's not the exact. They have very strict instructions of how it needs to be done.
This one is great. I'm going to like this one. This is an interesting psychological self-report. Superman is not meant to be an authoritarian super cop designed to punish degenerates. He has empathy and wants to help people be better. Look, they increasingly show how they don't know Superman. They want a Homelander as Superman and Punisher as Batman. They're clearly not DC fans. Yeah, I mean, I just say you like him. Just say you like Cavill better. It's not even good enough anymore to say that. These guys have to sort of demean David as Superman because they're so upset that they can't have their way with Cavill as Superman. So it's no longer like this is the version I prefer. Look, I could sit here and say my favorite version of Superman, even with David right now, is Tyler Hoechlin. But I would never post Tyler's picture next to other Supermen to try and demean them because I'm trying to prove some kind of a point. It just, and he went edgy with the grayscale black and white pictures too. He's like, I'm going to make this as edgy as possible, put it in black and white. It's like, what are we doing? Anyway.
And I'll say, like, it's going to get worse over these next couple months because they're slowly disappearing, right? Like any tread of like friction they had on the internet's going away once this movie comes out, right?
Yeah.
This will be the main face of Superman for what is hopefully going to be the next 10 years. So they are going to fight like hell for these next 3 months to keep in the relevancy because it's dying fast for them.
Yeah. Oh, well, you know, I'm also looking forward to David Cornswet Superman. I want to see what it's like. I want to see what this movie is going to bring. From what I have seen so far, and we're almost done with this little teaser here, from what I've seen so far, I like the direction of this version of Superman. I like the interviews they've had. I like all of that. And also, I am not someone who disliked Cavill as Superman. I didn't like the direction the character went. I think there was a weird, and this is probably the 25,000th time I've talked about this. There's this weird thing where we got Man of Steel, and when we get to the end of Man of Steel, I think we've reached a point where Henry Cavill's Superman is self-aware of, like, he shouldn't be killing people. He has to be more mindful. He has to be a hopeful for the world. That's who his character is supposed to be. We never get the follow-up for that because it jumps right into BVS where all of this stuff happened off screen, and he's considered Jesus to everybody. And he's got like this godlike complex, and we never got that in-between part. I will say for me, that is the biggest tragedy of the DCU or DCEU was that we never got a proper follow-up to Man of Steel.
I agree.
And that caused us to miss a chunk of who that character could have been.
Yeah.
And again, I liked Man of Steel, and I know it's a flawed movie, and I know people will go to bat to say it's not a great movie or whatever, and that's fine. I just don't like the direction. We at the end of that movie, we were set up to have a really good story for Superman to be that hopeful, worldwide loved emblem of like everything good in humanity, and we never got that. And that's why I'm looking forward to this movie. I think this movie is going to explore that a little bit, and that's what I'm looking forward to. You know. Cyborg, look, we all know I'm not a big fan of Ray Fisher, but the Cyborg portions of the Justice League movie were literally the best parts of that film. Yeah. And it could have been a separate movie all by itself with Cyborg.
The worst thing DC ever did is they didn't commit, right? Yeah. Like, I am not a DCEU fan. I probably never will fully be, but it's so frustrating that like that if they just committed after BVS, if they just kept going that way, that direction, even if I didn't like it, because I do think there was a plan. I do think that there was a motivation. So we spent the next 6 years just like running around in a circle with our heads cut off.
With these weird projects that didn't really fit in.
Yeah.
They were like puzzle pieces to another puzzle. It was really weird. All right, let's wrap this up.
More of that.
Okay. I mean, look, I think it was pretty good. For me, I'm not like a massive fan of it, but I think it was pretty good, right? Apparently Metamorpho is also part of the Maxwell Lord team. Wow. All right. So I think this was a good behind the scenes thing. I get it. A lot of people were bummed out because we got such a good, solid Fantastic Four trailer, and this wasn't really doing much. Is it a part of the team? I didn't think he was, but I wouldn't be surprised if he is. So, don't care too much. Cody, I see your super chat. Thank you so much. We're going to look at it as we go through the toys. But that is 1 out of 10 super chats on the Reloaded channel. If you guys want to contribute to the goal, please consider doing so. All right, so let's take a look here. Let me get the Twitter open for this. And we're going to go through and look at some of these toys. Where is it at? Where is it? Oh, wait, hold on. Before we look at the toys.
Oh, no.
Lance shared something.
No.
And we have to take a look at it. He just mentioned it in the chat here.
Yeah, he did.
We have to take a look at this. I want to warn you guys, like jump scare warning or whatever.
We
These are officially licensed Superman
mm,
boxers on Amazon. And anyway, I'm just going to show it. Here we go. I'm going to give the chat a second to catch up with us here.
we were just getting done filming me, Lance, and Taj when that dropped, and he pulled it up on screen, and he was laughing for a good 5 minutes, just hysterically.
I'm like, okay. So like, look, this right here is plenty. Like, I'm like, okay, I see, like, okay, the emblems there. It's got the lines and stuff from the suit. Superman on the band. Okay, it's kind of cool. I just don't even know if this was necessary. Like,
Do you think it's done on purpose?
I am not offended. Probably. Obviously, I'm not offended by this. If you got it, do what you're gonna do, right? But it's really weird. It's really weird that this is like the official like picture for advertising it on social media.
Yeah. I wonder if they did it on purpose to like get, I don't want to say clickbait, but like get clicks on social media. Because I mean, we're talking about it, right? It's
We
news.
are absolutely
like
absolutely.
it is press. Like,
but is it Kryptonite in his underwear? Is he really happy? I've never seen. Look, I've purchased a lot of really cool underwear over the years. I have never seen one that is presented this way.
Oh, sure.
Even like the adult stuff, like the stuff that you buy from like, you know, the more risque places or whatever. Typically, it just doesn't look like this. Like, this looks like they went under and like pushed everything up, like forward. It's like, let's push everything out as far as we can in this picture. It's like,
there's so many jokes I could throw in here.
I know.
This one ain't from Smallville. There's tons you could.
All right, let me find this other tweet because Lance wanted us to talk about that, so it's there.
Of course he does. Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, by the way, it looks like I didn't really have this as a topic, but I thought I'd mention it. It looks like Minecraft is going to do $1 billion. So basically, it's on track to do $1 billion. So.
By the way, have you talked about the Punisher stuff on stream yet?
The little comments made by
John Bernthal?
No, yeah. I mean, I haven't talked about it on stream. I have it bookmarked though because I was going to mention it. All right, here we go. All right, we can do that because I feel like we're flying through things pretty quickly. So why no booty padding? That's too funny. All right, so the behind the scene was released. We got a few pictures here. I thought this was a good shot.
That's a great shot. Yeah.
Yeah, this is what I used for my thumbnail. I was like, this is too good. I can't not use
It's
this
cool
one.
seeing them on the same screen for the first time. Like,
look,
when I saw that, I was like, oh, that's Superman. It looks super
like he
right
fills out the suit really
Yeah.
well. I know a lot of people complained about it, but
More than the other guy?
Not quite. Not quite. Here we go. Engineer, Ultraman, and I guess this is like the Lexo suits. Is it because it says Lex Core or Luthor Core or whatever on it? So they're like multiple versions of the Lex suits. So wait, he's got like an army of Lex suits now? I don't know how I feel about that.
Maybe.
That's not. I don't know about that one. See, this got me right here.
So cool. Yeah.
This got me like so practical.
And they're going to push this narrative, right? Like, I think they're going to push a similar narrative that Tom Cruise pushes his, like, Mission Impossibles to, like, this is real cinema. Like, true cinema has come back. We're doing practical effects. We're doing real costumes.
I mean, I'm impressed.
It's good. Like, yeah, like,
So,
market it. And like, put your money where your mouth is. People are like, we don't want as much, like, CGI and stuff in our movies.
Right.
Okay, then watch this. Support this if you want more stuff like this going forward.
Now this is cool. Is this Ultraman or Lex? Do we know?
I thought that was like the Lexo suit. Maybe it looks like, but it's different from the Lexo suit you just showed us. So maybe those are like little droids he has, and this is like him actually within the suit.
I don't look. This design is weird, right? It's fine. These shorts look so stupid. I don't understand. Like, I don't know. I still don't like this costume.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I think
like
it's all the white in the middle of it. I don't know. You know, I would actually prefer if the suit were just like the like brown and black with no white on it. The white just takes it out for me. It's so much. Like, I know it's a Maxwell Lord design suit, but I hope that she gets something a little more like the comic book suit at some point.
I think she will.
I don't mind the mask. I think the mask is fine, and the mace looks really cool. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this one. There. You have them wishing a happy Superman Day.
Mm-hmm.
Free Superman comics were given away at comic book stores.
Oh, that's
reprint
cool.
of All Stars 1, reprint of Superman for All Seasons, and preview of Jimmy Olsen's Super
Good.
Cyclopedia. Okay. Variant covers. Okay, let's take a look at these. This looks like the All-Star Superman design with David Cornsweet. Is that what it's supposed to be? I mean, Frank quietly did it. Dan Mora. I love Dan Mora. Jim Lee. I like that one. I love this one, except it looks like he's got a cigarette in his hand. Like, I wish they would have had that streak right behind his hand. This is probably my favorite of the two. I think this one's a little more artsy because it's got the graphic spiral behind it and everything, and I appreciate that. But this one to me showcases the costume. We get to really see the suit and the way it looks. So I like this one a lot. Crypto's growing on me a little bit.
I like it a lot. I'm a fan.
I had an issue early on, but I guess I'm starting to warm up to this design a little bit more, which I kind of felt like was going to happen. I think I said when we first looked at it, there's a chance that I'll probably end up liking it in the end. All right. Tons of Superman merch was revealed. Todd McFarlane, action figures, and Funko Pops. So there's the Todd McFarlane statue. I don't know how I feel about this one. It's not very dynamic, right? It's just kind of him standing there, which is okay. I would love to have had one with him like in the pose from the promo, like flying straight up with his hands on his side, like going into the clouds. See, we have the Superman Funko, Lois Lane, Lex Luthor, Crypto. Yeah. Look at Crypto. Oh my god.
I'm getting that. I'm getting I'm going broke Funkos.
I actually prefer this one over this one.
I agree.
It's cuter.
Those like bottom two are so sick.
Yeah. Crypto is so adorable. All right, so we have the Superpowers collection. I believe these are made by Todd McFarlane's toy store, I think, as well. So we have, wow, we're missing Hawkgirl. So we have Green Lantern, Mr. Terrific, Metamorpho, and those ugly shorts. Superman, but no Hawkgirl. Now, this is Cody's super chat here. So he had a $5 super chat. Thank you, Cody. I'm not entirely impressed with Superman's marketing because where are the toys for the female characters?
Yeah.
Now, I do remember, I'm going to check here. Let me open up the tab and see. By the way, what do you think of these toys just in general, these ones?
I like that. Like, I mean, I don't have any thoughts on the figures itself, but I think it's so cool that we get to introduce a generation of kids to characters they never would have known. Like, you know, I didn't know who Mr. Terrific was when I was growing up. I didn't know Guy Gardner or, you know, all these characters. And, like, they're going to watch this movie and they're going to have these action figures of these characters. And they're going to be a part of their childhood. Like, I think that's super, super awesome. Yeah. The female character thing is, I'll be honest, it's still an issue in, like, the superhero genre.
I mean, Funko is pretty good. We had Lois Lane, but there was no
Funko's good. But, like, this is something, I mean, like, even Funko, like, The Flash had, like, 4 different sets of Funko Pops. They never once had Iris. Never once. Yeah. You know? And it's like, I feel like sometimes in these spaces, there's still this mentality of, like, yeah, but it's a boys' movie, so we must...
Right. Even though I think it's very clear the movie is being marketed to like everybody, you know what I mean? All right. So Todd McFarlane, the creator of Spawn and founder of McFarlane Toys, has expressed skepticism about the viability of female action figures in a traditionally boys' toy market. In a 2022 interview, he stated that while female superheroes can sell, an entire line featuring only female characters would not perform well in the boys' action figure aisle. He emphasized that male superheroes like Batman and Superman consistently outsell female figures, villains, and monsters, attributed to long-standing consumer preferences. But I mean, I think that speaks more to culture than the toys.
Yeah.
Right? Because I'm not disagreeing with them. I think there is probably some truth to the fact that the boys out there are buying more like, male superheroes. But I think that has more to do with the lack of really good women superheroes and lack of really good women in media. Also, it seems a little weird because he's talking about entire lines of toys. So including a Hawk Girl action figure in this lineup makes sense because she's a big part of the movie. So why is she not just there? It's one action figure. Where's the engineer at? You know what I mean? Where's that character?
Like, I understand the statistics and like I understand like why that's a thing. Unfortunately, like as sad as that is, like I understand that like boys want to play with boys' toys and girls want to play with girls' toys. But I think back to when I was a kid and like I just liked characters. Like I didn't think too much about like the gender of them. Like I wanted like a Elastigirl and like a Violet action figure just as much as like the Mr. Incredible and Dash and Frozone, right? And it's like, well, I couldn't get those because they just weren't a thing. Like they would sell like the boy, and that's just like an example. Like that stuff like that would happen all the time. Where it's like, where's I want the female action figure too because they're part of the show. I want to play along with those characters.
I think this is a big reason why we see people on Etsy doing their own and then selling them, either as a 3D printed character or you taking an existing character or existing toy and repainting it and selling it, as a variant. Because what they could probably do is get a Hawk Girl toy that exists already and then just design it like the one from this from this movie. But it's unfortunate you'd have to do that. It feels like that's completely, it's just wrong.
It's like, these stereotypes have been going around for so long, and it's like I understand that they don't want to make them because they fear it won't sell, but also you need to break that cycle of like stereotypes and stuff like that. Like this is a universe you don't want to just market to boys. You want to market this to everybody.
Right.
Supergirl comes out next year, right? And you're going to want.
Are they not going to make toys for that because she's the lead character?
I mean, but like even worse, like you're also going to want boys to go see that movie. Like you don't want it to just exclusively be this is a boys movie.
I mean that, and that's one of the reasons why I think films like the Marvels suffer because of the culture around it. Like I feel like there's a weird stigmatization of boys being interested in stuff that have women in it if it's not done in a way that objectifies the women, which I think is unfortunate.
Yeah.
So, well, anyway. Cameron says, with the $2 super chat, thank you so much contributing. We're 8 away from hitting the goal now. The big suit is called the Hammer of Boravia. So that's the one that looked like the Lexo suit, I guess, is the Hammer of Boravia. That doesn't sound familiar to me. I'm not super well versed on more recent DC things. So if that's a newer thing, I'm not super familiar with it. All right. More merchandising was later revealed, including Uno cards, lamps, and a range of kids' toys. This lamp is okay, but it looks a little cheap to me. Like, I don't know if I'd get this. I'd put it on a shelf somewhere up high where you can kind of see it from a distance. I wouldn't put it anywhere close.
Yeah.
So. Uno cards, whatever.
That's so fun.
It's fun, yeah, but I don't know if I would ever want to play it because I'd want to keep it as a collector's item. So here's the Kaiju with Superman.
Interesting. So do we think Lex makes this thing?
Well, there's something interesting here because it's got chains around its hands.
Yeah.
So is it an alien or was it made on Earth?
Sure. I mean, I have a feeling that's what hurts him in that front of the movie. I think it's either that kaiju or that giant like purple alien thing that we keep seeing in like all those teasers. I think it's one of the two that hurt him so bad he's falling into the fortress.
Funko revealed new Superman themed stickers that you can use on social media.
So cute.
That's cute. And yeah, this is fun. Whatever. I'm not big on shipping stuff anyway, so. All right, DC Universe Online celebrated an in-game event and limited time rewards, including Superman Anniversary Emblem, Electric Kryptonian Slime Line Cash. All right, hold on. This is DC Universe. I'm not familiar with this game, so I don't really know much about it. I don't really understand what these things are. Like, I get that, like, that logo is so tiny. Look at that. Why is it such a small...
I assume it's just skins for your characters
Probably,
in the game.
but I don't understand what this is. Like, what is this over here? I don't know. And this is the Superman red and blue stuff, which I actually like these costume designs from the 90s. I thought these were really cool. But I didn't like this run of Superman. So, cool design. James Gunn and the cast asked fans to share their look-up photos.
I don't love that as a marketing...
Yeah, that's a little cheesy.
Like, I feel like I think they want it to catch on. Like I think they're going to want it to be a thing where, like, post your photos on, or, post your things on.
I actually feel bad for the actors having to do it because it looks so bad.
Like, they're going to really push for, like, oh, everyone on TikTok and stuff's looking up, but it's not going to translate as they want it to. I don't.
They'd be better off doing doing like a dance or something. Fans across the world share their look-up photos.
Well, maybe I'm wrong.
Well, he's not really looking up, so... That's the shirt they gave away to everybody with the new logo on it. Wow, is this a cosplayer?
Looks good.
Yeah, this is a really well-made, like, homemade suit, if that's the case. Alright, covers were revealed. Oh, this is the variant cover. I like this one. This is cool. It's a throwback to the cover over here from Action Comics. It's fine. James Gunn shared an interview. Oh, let's see what this is.
Felt.
Hold on.
He is the ultimate insider and the ultimate outsider. In a lot of my life, I've felt like that.
I always thought it was ironic because he's an alien, but he embodies sort of the greatest qualities of humanity.
Yes.
And I think that's something that makes him this.
Okay, no disrespect to Jim Lee. He's one of the all-time greats. I love his artwork. He's been around since the late 80s, early 90s. But that's the point of Superman. Like, I don't think that's ironic. I think it's the fact that he is someone so alien to this world with powers beyond anybody else's, and he's relatable as a person. You know what I mean? I think that's the whole point. No offense to Jim Lee, but
Humanity.
Yes.
And I think that's something that makes him special and unique.
The only thing I think we have left to say is Happy Superman Day.
Okay, whatever. No offense. That's not great either. Warner Brothers streaming service Max celebrates Superman Day with special banners highlighting Superman content to watch. I mean, nobody's there anymore, so who are they advertising to? Warner Brothers Studio Tour. DC hosted a 1-hour tour on Warner Brothers backlot in Burbank. It featured screening of Superman 1978, introduced by TMC host Ben Mankiewicz and DC President Jim Lee. Okay, that's cool. What is this here? Is it just they're just everybody's wearing Superman stuff? I mean, that's fine. That's cool. I'd totally take a picture in front of that.
Yeah, that's sick.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, I want this hoodie. I'm a hoodie person, so I would totally rock that hoodie for sure, 100%. Signing autographs. Okay, it's kind of cool. That was it. Oh, wait, hold on. I am getting this. As soon as I can find a place to buy this, I'm getting it.
That's very cute.
100%.
Buy one for a pagey.
Yeah. James Gunn. Yeah. All right. That's pretty cool. Was this more merch? That's the Funkos we already saw. Oh wait, hold on. We didn't see this.
It's interesting they are doing Ultraman because, like, he said that they weren't, right?
Right.
Which I know, like, I love James Gunn, but, like, he has been caught in quite a few lies at this point.
Yeah.
Which it is going to be very interesting going forward. Where it's like, I feel like we can't take anything he says at full value at this point because he said we're not doing Ultraman. That's a lie.
Yeah.
Those are leaks. We're not doing that. And I believed him. I was like, all right, Gunn. All right, cool.
This is an ugly toy. Sorry. It just is. Metamorpho in the comics, at least the old school one, had like a smoother skin to the character. This one looks very like, I hate to say it, like a weird burn victim type character. maybe that's what he looks like. I don't know.
Oh, $78. Jesus.
Yeah. Wait, hold on. How much were the other ones? $40 for these. 78 for this one. So this is slightly bigger then. But this one doesn't have the
I would
chains
not
around
buy
his
that.
arm, so
Not for
It's
$70.
just a weird looking ugly character. Like you have to be like a super collector to buy that.
I would buy that though.
Yeah,
That's
this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
This is pretty cool too. I like the jacket.
Yeah.
Uh,
See, we
That's-
can get the robots, but not Hawk Girl. Like that's so
it's
silly to me.
weird. Literally no Hawk Girl. Like okay, I get if you're okay. I'm not saying it's right because obviously Funko's done it. I get not including Lois Lane as an action figure because she's not going to be in the action.
Yeah.
But not having Hawk Girl or the Engineer is a little strange.
I would
to me.
prefer Hawk Girl over even like the Kaiju, I think. Little people.
Yeah, yeah. This is okay.
Oh, what's that second one there?
Which one here?
No, down,
Oh, right.
next to the cup. What's that?
It says on the tweet, card tin. So it's made to put your playing cards in, I guess.
Okay.
You know what? That would be a good thing to have with your Uno cards, I bet. Like if you wanted to put your Uno cards in something. Here's the crypto toy. Look, okay, so these toys are notoriously bad for like, they break and people lose them. Like, don't buy these guys. Look, I want these to be successful, but these toys are not good. Here's a kaiju again. So it is just kaiju. There's no other name. It's just kaiju.
Interesting.
Kaiju slime battle. So this thing has some sort of like, I guess, slime that it spits out, I guess. You know, it almost looks like one of those axolotl thingies. You know, the little amphibian thing.
It looks very Star Wars to me.
I agree with that. Wall light and coffee keep cup.
Oh.
So that's kind of.
I thought it was the cup that glowed for a second. I was
No,
like,
the
oh,
cup
that's
is-
sick.
That's just a laser cut into like a
Gotcha.
existing mug there. There's a crypto lamp. I'm totally getting one of those.
Toothbrush.
Toothbrush. The lamps are the best. I agree. I think the lamps are the best out of all these. All right. All right. Yeah, I know you're probably not going to be able to stay to the end. So, is there anything that you wanted to watch that John Bernthal?
I did. I also wanted. I'm gonna share a thing with you over here really quickly.
All right.
And I don't know if you already have this in your lineup, but I do think it's kind of interesting with the current state of the like box office stuff for Warner Brothers this year. A
Mhm.
post from Fandango. I just shared
Okay.
it with you in the private chat.
Okay. Cool. I'll look at it. Let me get this video ready, and then we'll look at that.
I can probably stay until like 1.
Okay. Cool.
I don't know how long you're going today, but
I don't know either because it's just a few random things. All right, we'll share this tab instead here, and then let's take a look at the what you shared over here. Let me remove this. So Ryan Coogler's Sinners took home the top spot at the domestic weekend box office with 45.6 million, while Minecraft movie held down the top 2 for Warner Brothers with 41.3 million. So, is Sinners indie or is it Warner Brothers?
it's Warner Brothers.
Is it? Okay. So this is good for them.
It is. Like, both are successfully making money at the box office, and people are
Right.
saying, on top, if Superman could do well, it could end up being a very successful year for them. Like, it could be one of their most successful years in a while.
All right, let's see here. We have a couple super chats, and then we're going to watch this John Bernthal video. Cameron here with the $5 super chat says, have you seen the Sinestro actor in a video to challenge Superman on Superman Day? I did see that, but I didn't bookmark it. We do have a video, though, we're going to look at from Green Lantern that shows like behind the scenes stunt work. and I want to get everybody's opinion on it because I was kind of like not impressed with it, but it could be because I'm just bummed out by the premise of that show altogether. Yeah, look, I like the actor that plays Sinestro. I have high hopes for him, but he's also a much older actor, which makes me think he's not going to be a big character in the DCU, which is kind of a bummer because I think Sinestro is one of the better villains. So that's kind of sucky. Cody here with the $5 super chat. They're releasing a comic book version of Hawk Girl around the same time, so that might be why there's not a movie version. Oh. From Todd McFarlane? Is there, hold on. Let's see. I'm seeing a few different things, but I don't know if it's a new one. Cody, I'm not sure if you're talking about a new one or not. Okay, hold on. Where's it at? So Todd McFarlane, this was a month ago, releases a Superman, Hawk Girl, Hour Man, and all these other toys. All right, hold on. I wish I could find pictures of them. I see the news, but I don't see any pictures of them. Have they not released any photos of them yet? Is that why? Let's see. Hold on. Oh, here it goes. Here it goes. All right, so let me share this first. So these are two toys coming out like relatively soon. Can you see that, Darren? So this is the Hawk Girl here that's coming out. Which I don't like the wings. I think they're probably going to pop open, which is why they look like that. I don't like them closed. I have to see them fully open. And then there's a Supergirl, but this looks like the Woman of Tomorrow, like the actual comic book version.
Yeah, it is.
So this could be a reason why, but I would have to know if Todd McFarlane's never released two characters close together. Because that would be, I could determine it that way. But this is a good theory, Cody. I think this is a good theory.
Yeah, I don't see why they couldn't do both unless there's a contract thing surrounding it or something.
All right. All right. So this is a video that has a lot of people kind of triggered by John Bernthal's statements about the upcoming Punisher. What is it? A special event
Presentation.
Yeah, it's. I wish it was just called like a movie or something instead of a weird name, because I know it's probably only going to be an hour long, but still. Anyway, this has people triggered. I want to break down why I think some people are kind of annoyed with this. And Darren, you asked about it, so I guess you have an opinion about it as well. So let's watch this whole statement. It's only 32 seconds.
The Marine Corps and that community for helping me on this journey, helping me write, helping me find this character. Some of the best people that we have in this country have worn that Punisher skull in their body armor when they've taken that that unbelievable walk into danger to stand up for our country. That's something that I take enormously seriously. I make the show for them. I make the show with them, and it's I just really, really want to get it right.
No, you got it right.
Oh boy, I appreciate the Marine.
Okay, so first and foremost, I'll let you go first, Darren. Say what you got to say about this.
It's so weird to me. Like, he reads this script for Born Again. You know, he's playing the character the way he is, and then he gets on interviews and he says these kind of things. This isn't the first time he's mentioned this. Like, I when this came out, I was doing some research. He said this across many platforms across the last couple of years, saying very similar things. To me, it's kind of like anti-Daredevil, right? And I feel like it's maybe encouraging the wrong thing, right? Because we've seen this happen a lot, where a lot of police officers and people from the army and the military really resonating with a character like Punisher, and I don't think it should, right? Like, Punisher is not a character that police officers should be like, I want to be more like him.
Which is kind of what he expressed in Daredevil in the finale.
Yeah, like, it's strange for me to see him read a script like that and be like, this is something really good that I resonate with, to then also say this line. I feel like they contradict each other a little bit. And I bet John, like, I bet he thought he was saying something really helpful and nice. Like, I doubt he meant anything about it, but, like, I do think it can be harmful. Like, I think it could have consequences. Like, I think him bringing the light, like, hey, this is something I want you guys to represent, and being like, okay, let me look more into this character.
Also, his line saying, I make it for them. Who is them? Who is that in this? Like, is he talking specifically about the military? He's talking about the police? I don't know what he means by that. I make it for them. That's a weird thing to say.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't, without knowing who them is, I'm assuming he means
the military.
The military.
Yeah.
Also, military people and cops wearing Punisher stuff is not good. I know he says they're good people doing good things, and they might be. Maybe there are some people on set that are working with him that are. But the Punisher does not represent that's not the character of the Punisher would never endorse people wearing his logo to do things. Like, that's not I don't know. Maybe there's a random niche iteration of Punisher that did that, but none of the ones I've ever read have ever done that. So maybe it's something Marvel did recently that I'm not aware of, or maybe it's like a one-off story. Like, I always think about, when I think about the Punisher, I always think about him and how Captain America and him have had this relationship over the years, right? So Captain America doesn't like Frank Castle. Like, Steve Rogers doesn't like Frank Castle. And that doesn't mean that he doesn't understand that some of the things he does is important. It's just that fundamentally, those two characters are so completely different at the core of who they are.
Yeah.
And that's because Captain America, even though he does push back against, like, authoritarianism and all of that, he's a military guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he's a guy that understands the government, understands our military and things like that. Punisher had a very traumatic situation that happened to him outside of the military. He would never, ever, in a million years, because of the way he does justice, the way he does vigilante justice, would endorse the Marine Corps or any branch of the military or the police officers or anything walking around with Punisher stuff painted on them, doing anything. I can't imagine there's anything they would do that he would endorse. So this makes me very concerned, because I know he had a lot of influence on this Punisher, like, one shot.
He's writing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is strange to me, because, like, he isn't, and, like, I understand it must be hard to, like, play a character that isn't morally good, right? Like, I think everyone wants their character to be a character that people can look up to and can be inspired by. And I think Punisher has traits that you can maybe be inspired by. There's things about him,
some people might relate to his struggle with his mental health and stuff like that. Like, I see that, right?
Like, he is someone that struggles with mental health and gets back up when he's struggling, and he's very motivated. Like, there's things about him where it's like, I can see parts of him you can be motivated by, and I get, as an actor, it's probably tough to not be able to, I just want people to look up to my character. But he's not a good person. Punisher is not a good guy.
And you're not supposed to think he is. That's the point of the character.
Punisher himself knows he's not a good guy. Like Punisher doesn't want more Punishers. He's like, I'm doing it, at least this version of the character. Yeah. I'm doing it for you don't have to, for no one else.
Yeah, Cody said it's why he originally left. Yeah.
Yeah.
Omega says the one thing about vigilantism is you better not get it wrong ever. But that's the thing, is I don't think Punisher, as we know him in the MCU, he doesn't care about whether or not it's right or wrong a lot of times. He knows that I need to get rid of these bad people, and if I have to take out people in front of those bad people to do it, I will. And that's kind of why him and Daredevil butt heads a lot, because
Yeah.
Daredevil doesn't feel that way about it. You know what I mean?
He sacrifices
And
his
so-
own soul for
Yeah.
the livelihood of everyone else.
Yeah. So yeah, for me, it's I'm concerned. Look, it could be really good, but if it's going to dive heavily into something related to like this, I don't want to disparage our military. I have a lot of family members that are in the military, but if it's going to be like rah-rah, like pro-military only, and that's why the Punisher does what he does, that is a fundamental misunderstanding of who the Punisher is as a character.
Agreed. Yeah.
So I'm hoping that what he's talking about is backstory to the Punisher, like things that he did in the past that lead him to where he is now. That's really the only thing I can think he's talking about. Because otherwise, why do we have these military guys telling him what the Punisher should be doing? Why is that? You know what I mean? Like, I don't get that.
And like, it's strange because I want the presentation to be the exact opposite. I want it to
Right.
be like, I don't want to say anti-cops, but like anti-cops using his symbol as their strength.
Fair
Like,
enough,
like I want literally that it to be that continuation of this story we did in Born Again, which I thought was actually one of the better parts of Born Again, of
Absolutely.
like those cops using his symbol to justify their actions and him being like, that's not what I am. You guys have lost your mind. Like, that stuff is fantastic.
Yeah.
And it's opposed to what he says here, which is interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I don't know. Well, Jay Bird, the thing is, Frank Castle being a part of the military is a portion of his backstory, but it's not what drives the Punisher, which is why it's weird to mix the two things together. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of why, I'd be in that spot. Have you ever seen a Charles Bronson movie? Yeah. What does that have to do with Frank Castle and the Punisher? Because they're violent?
Just side conversation, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they're both violent characters. Okay. I mean, I don't really know what that has to do with one thing has to do with the other. All right, so we are at 4 out of 10 super chats tonight. We have, it says goal ends in what? Doesn't say. What? Is that, what's wrong with this? Hold on. YouTube's been acting up all day for me. I'm not sure what's going on. Goal ends in, like, can you see it? Can you click? Are you on the channel?
I'm not on the stream, but I can pull it up.
Yeah, if you want to pull the Reloaded stream and see where it says goal ends, because it doesn't have a number. Neither channels have a number. Did they take that away? Does it just last through the whole stream now? Does anybody else?
Goal ends in no.
There's no timer.
Nope.
Yeah, that's weird. I wonder if they took the timer away. Look, I'd be okay with that. I'd prefer it not to have a timer, but that's weird because I had to set one when I started it. All right, so I want to talk about Sinners, but I want to talk about Last of Us 2 first.
Okay.
So, if you guys have not played the game, which I'm pretty sure every single person in the chat has either played the game or knows what happens in Last of Us 2. Pretty sure you guys do. But this is a general spoiler warning if you have not, because we're going to be talking about the show, which is following somewhat the trajectory of the game.
Wow.
So there's a few spoilers there. So just letting you guys know. You come back and watch it after we're done. So I wasn't going to talk about this, but I feel like it's important because I've seen a lot of people online, especially critics and influencers with very different opinions about how this episode went. And I have to say, I don't necessarily know if I'm totally okay with the actress that plays Abby. Not because she's not doing a good job, but I liked Abby's physical presence in the game. I felt like she did sort of exude like I'm actually fit. Like, I know that the way someone looks doesn't always represent how strong they are, but there was an imposing feeling about her as a character in the game that I've been missing on the show. But that doesn't mean anything. Like, I'm not saying that she's not a good actress. I think she does.
You know why I
fine.
think that is?
Why is that?
Bella Ramsey. Right?
Oh, you think
like,
so?
I think, like, nothing against Bella Ramsey, but, like, she doesn't have, like, a video game physique, and I love her. I think she does a fantastic job. but like you're not gonna want someone like super like way out of like Abby and Ellie are relatively around the same like like size level,
Yeah.
right? Like in the game. So you're not gonna want like super hugely buff Abby and then just like Bella Ramsey.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I see that part of it, but in the game though, Bella wasn't like, or Ellie wasn't like super buff either. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So I don't know. Anyways, small criticism. I will have to say though, I am very shocked that they actually did it in the second episode.
Ballsy.
Because I thought for certain, since we're getting sort of a broken up season 2, that they would wait a little bit longer to get rid of Joel as a character. Only because it felt like they were setting up something with him, with the town and some of the people in the town and Eugene's wife, which I can't remember her name now.
Marion? Maybe?
Is it
Something
Marion?
like that?
The
Something like that.
therapist, right?
Oh, sure.
Yeah. I felt like they were setting something up. So this kind of came out of left field for me. But I have to give them credit for going there. Like, I have to give them credit for actually doing it. Now, there's a lot of people online who are upset about this, but I want to put this out there. Pedro Pascal is very busy. He's got a million things going on right now. I'm not saying that he's not going to be back in flashbacks or that they're not going to use him later on or whatever, but he's not going to be, like, I don't think he's at a loss of work because he's not going to be on the show regularly anymore.
No.
You know what I mean? But a lot of people were saying this reminds them of Game of Thrones season 1.
Very, yeah.
Reminds them of other, like, look, I would say, just to put this out there, it's like The Walking Dead. We lost important characters every other season on The Walking Dead. Some of them were main characters.
Yeah.
So, for me, it's like, okay, we should be, and I'm not saying we should be accepting of it all the time, but we should be sort of expecting. Game of Thrones started this, where characters are expendable. Anybody's expendable. And I actually think that makes the storytelling pretty good, in my opinion. Right? Am I wrong in that?
No, I mean, I love that story. I love The Last of Us Part 2, and I haven't fully finished it, but like I know the overall story. I played most of it, and I think it's a beautiful story. I think it's okay to be angry. I think you're supposed to be angry.
Yeah,
you're
100%.
supposed to be pissed. And like there's a part of me, like I've been watching a lot of reactions to it today. It's so fun seeing people who didn't know it was coming, like their reaction to it. That's so much fun.
That's good. That's always the good ones. Yeah.
That's really, really fun. And like there's a part of me that wants to like be a little bit upset with like some of their like, oh, I don't like how they're doing this and this and this, and like there's a part of me that wants to be like, oh, they're doing this, or they can do this and this and this. But we've had the time to grieve. We've had that process via the games, via online culture. We've had that. Now it's their time to grieve for a little bit. It's their time to be angry. It's their time to experience that story in real time. And let's see if they can get to the spot where we're at. Because it's tough. It's not an easy journey. And I think your whole thing of like, you saying, well, you can't believe it happened so soon. It happened so fresh. That's also how the characters are feeling. That's why it's such a, like, why it took place the way it did is so smart, because they didn't get the chance to say goodbye. It happens in an instant. It's real. It's deep. It's emotional. And that's going to be these characters' journeys throughout the season. I'm curious to see.
Now, I will say this. I do believe, and we'll have to see what happens, but I do believe that, and maybe they expected this, it is going to hurt the show. I think with Pedro Pascal being gone so early, it's going to hurt the show.
I think next season we're going to feel it.
Because we lost an older guy as one of the leads of the show, and now we have these two really strong women who are going to be at odds with each other. And I think a lot of people are good. I hate to say it. Look, I'm just pointing this out. In the culture we're in, this is what the argument is going to be. That's what they're going to talk about. I think it's fine for me. I'm excited to see where it's going to go. But I think there's a contingency of people that are watching it. They're going to be like, it's woke now, and tune out, even though it happened in the game. You know what I mean? So
it's hard. Like, I've been already seeing people say, yeah, I'm done watching the show because my favorite character died. And I'm like, valid, fair.
But
And- but
this happened
but-
in the game. Like
It happened-
this is
same
this
thing.
was what
Yeah.
this is what the gamers said
Yeah.
when they played the game.
yes.
It's the same feeling.
And they came back eventually once they.
Mhm.
But I just think that's valid. Like I think they should be allowed to take a break. Like a lot of people, like when I watched the season 7 premiere of The Walking Dead, I didn't want to continue. Like not because of how sad I was, but because how hard that was to watch.
What was the season where we lost? What was the
Glenn?
season we had where? Yes, when Glenn was. What was
that
that?
was the
4,
start of season
5?
7. That was
Okay.
7. That was the,
That's when I stopped watching it. And
Yeah.
I know there's a million other spinoffs of Walking Dead left. I could go back and have years of content to watch with Walking Dead because there's so many of them.
yeah.
But yeah, I understand how that feels. You have a character you love, you want that character to survive, they don't, and then all of a sudden you're not interested anymore. So it's a ballsy thing to do because I know Walking Dead lost a lot of fans when that
Yeah.
happened. Is that worth? And I pose this question in the chat, guys. In the chat, tell me your thoughts on this. And Darren, I want to know your thoughts on this as well.
Mm-hmm.
Is it worth doing it so early in the season to go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off and then see how it plays out? Or should they have went a little bit longer and set up a little bit more with Joel before they finally pulled the trigger on it? What do you think? I mean, outside of what we just saw, you have an opportunity to tell the creative team what you think. Was this the right decision for the health of the show?
For the health of the show, no, of course not. Like,
Okay.
if you wanted the show to be the most popular it could be, you would never have him die. You would change
Right.
it. You would just have it like he never lives. I don't think that's how you should go about writing your media, though. Like, I don't think you should
I agree
design
with you.
your show to please the fans all the 100% of the time, because it's no longer the story that you love or the most impactful version of that story.
Right.
That story is so important because he does die. It was always kind of in the character's DNA that had to happen to him. And it sucks. It's hard. It's sad, but it's a beautiful story as well.
And I want to point out that we have not seen the aftermath of the invasion that they had.
Mm-hmm.
We probably lost other people. There's probably other characters that we met in that first episode that are gone, that are no longer with us.
Yeah, and I think they're going to do it in a way that's smart too, because I guarantee there's more Pedro in the season. Like, there's a lot of things they skipped around in that early game we haven't seen yet.
Mhm.
So I think there's going to be a lot of flashbacks. I think there's going to be a lot of various things Ellie has to go through. I think it's been very smart to upgrade Tommy to a more supporting character as well.
That's true. That's true. But I also think something that, okay, so this could be a good and a bad thing. There's a 5-year gap between the end of season 1 and season 2.
There
So we could see her experiencing stuff with Joel that we didn't see during that gap.
For 4 seasons. Yeah.
That keeps him on the show for the next 2 or 3 years. You know what I mean? Because she's going to be dealing with that trauma, and that's a way to do it. That's a way to keep him around without him being in present day.
And I think you're going to have to, like, with a game, you're kind of playing that story through a consent, a short amount of time. Like, you're playing it around the same time. With the show, there's going to be 2-3 years by the time you're into that journey. The impact of that death is going to feel less and less with every break you have.
Mm-hmm.
So by season 4, you're like, wait, why is this so sad again? Oh yeah, he died, but I don't really remember it. So keeping him via flashbacks, via hallucinations, via for subconscious, I think it will be very smart to keep him around.
I also want to point out one of the most contentious parts of like the first game, when you go to the end, is the decision that Joel makes.
Yeah.
Right? I think for me, and I've had this decision with friends that never played the game. We've talked about it on this show before, like not this stream, but back when we were doing the after parties and stuff. I talked about it there. I don't agree with what Joel did.
No.
And I'm not saying that he shouldn't have saved her, but he also didn't have to murder people. That's always what I've gone back to. Like, he was a good enough shot that he could have disabled those people, left with her, and never had to worry about looking back again. Mm-hmm. He chose to kill them. And it's because he felt they were bad people, but these are people that are trying to save humanity. So they're looking at the bigger picture. He's looking at the smaller picture, which is this one individual person. And there's something beautiful about that. But also the doctors were looking at the bigger picture, like we want to save the entire world. And we're willing to make this decision. I don't agree with the way he did it. Should he have saved her? Sure. I mean, if he felt like that was the right thing to do, I agree with that. I don't agree with him murdering doctors that were trying to save the world.
Yeah.
That's always been my take on this.
It's a story about bad people, right? I'm gonna have so much fun talking about it this season because there's no good people in this scenario. It's all about perspective, right? Like, we love Joel because we're watching it from his POV.
Right.
I was just saying this. If Abby was our POV, we would love Abby and hate Joel. And that's what's so fascinating about that game, is that you are forced to play from two different perspectives. By the end, you love both characters, and you don't know how you feel. And I think that challenges your audience in such a way. Joel made the wrong move. I 100% agree with you, but did he deserve what happened? Should Abby have done
I don't
that?
think no, and I agree with that too. So let's talk about Abby for a second in this episode, okay? So I don't necessarily 100% agree with what Abby did, but I understand why she feels the way she feels. Also, as we were watching the episode, when it was all said and done, I looked over and I said, Abby didn't just get revenge on Joel, right? She destroyed a town full of people, possibly killed a bunch of those people because of this. And then it ties back to who her father was, which was the doctor that was trying to save everybody.
Yeah.
So her legacy in all of this is she got the revenge on the individual person that she wanted to get revenge on, but also by proxy, she wiped out who knows how many people, destroyed the city, caused irreparable harm to some of these families and some of these people that they're never going to get back.
No.
All because of her desire to go out and get revenge on Joel. So in that regard, there's no justification for what she did, in my opinion.
It's so interesting because, like, I love some of the context they add here where it's like she was 12, or I'm sorry, she was 19 when Joel came in and she did that. We are now Ellie is 19 and now she has killed her father, and it is this cycle of violence. You killed him, so I will kill him, so now I will kill you.
Yeah.
And it's this game or this show is prime example of an eye for an eye leaves everyone blind.
And we're in a scenario where humanity is on the outside of everything because they're struggling to stay alive, and you're fighting about this. This is what people are doing. And that's kind of what The Walking Dead became over time, was just more about these interpersonal relationships with human beings, and the zombies became the afterthought. You know what I mean?
But on Devil's Advocate, like, Joel took away that choice for redemption. So then you can argue, is like, well, what is the point? Like, we're not going to make it anyway. I may as well make myself feel good in the moment.
Yes.
Not justifying those actions, but I'm saying those are things that she's thinking in her head.
But I also want to point out that these individuals that were together, Abby and her crew, didn't even attempt to go, we're passing through, we just want to stop and get some food or sleep or whatever. Like, they could have gone in to sort of suss out what was happening because they didn't know really anything other than the layout of this particular city. So they could have gone in and done a little recon to find out, like, how do they feel about Joel? Is he the mayor? Is he just another person living there? Can we get him out somehow? Because they're human beings. Like, they talked about this at the beginning. They've taken in people. So it's not like they wouldn't let somebody come into the city if they didn't pose an immediate threat. And 4 random people versus all the people that lived in that city, they're just going to keep an eye on them. They're not going to think of them as coming in and doing anything because they're worried about the freaking zombie, like plant people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's what they care about. So I think it was just a very poorly planned, plan. It was a poor plan from all of them. Honestly,
well, it wasn't a plan. It just happened, right?
Yeah.
Like they were like, okay, we're going to think of a plan. Their plan was like, we're giving up. We're going to go back home. We're going to try to convince you to go home. She wouldn't have listened, but that was their plan. And then he literally landed on their doorstep, and they were like, fine. fine. It's either do this now or sacrifice ourselves later for this vendetta. So there isn't a lot of thought into it. There isn't a lot of plan into it. It just happened.
The other thing about her sort of like dragging it out with him, with Joel, while Dina, is it Dina or Dinah? Is it Dinah?
I think it's Dina.
Dina was asleep or whatever. In that scenario, and I know it didn't happen in the game, but we're talking about the show where things could have been different. In that scenario, I don't understand how that hierarchy worked with Abby. Because why is it the other three of them are just willing to let her do this when you can tell they're uncomfortable with what she's doing? That part bothered me because the truth is she could have made the decision to kidnap Joel. They could have put him asleep, tied him up, took him somewhere else, and left Dina there in the cabin until she woke up and went back to the village or whatever. But they didn't do that. So there's a decision that she made for everybody that sort of crossed that line for, I think, most of the group. I don't think any of those other three members of the group were on board with what she was doing. It seemed like they understood that it had gone too far to turn around, but I don't think they were on board with torturing Joel. You know what I mean?
They wanted him dead. They didn't want to put in the work to
That's what I mean, though. Like the torturing aspect of it. Like they could have...
They just wanted to shoot him, call it a day. Yeah.
Yes. It became more than that, and they weren't on board with that. And I'm not saying that makes them better people, but it definitely shows that she had a specific, like almost, what word am I looking for here? In her mind, she had an idea of how this was going to go down, and she was going to do what she was going to do regardless. And I think torturing him was always in the plans for her. Like, I feel like in some way or another. But you're right now. So now we have Ellie, who is going to be in this cycle of like, oh, now your dad was killed. You came here. You killed Joel. You destroyed the town. Now I'm going to come after you to try and kill you. And it's just this endless cycle that we're in. And there's no way to get out of it because these people are so, especially these characters, are so emotionally driven. They're clearly emotionally driven characters. There's going to be no logical thinking from either one of them with any of this. And I know in the game things change. I don't want to spoil things down the road in the game with how things play out or whatever. But I can tell you this, there are things that happen to Ellie that are absolutely detrimental to just her life in general because of all of this as you go through the game. So there's no sunny side to any of this. No. Depending on where they go with the story in the show. And I'm sure some of it'll be changed, obviously. But I'm excited to see the direction. I want to see where they go with this. I want to see what we're looking at here. I have to give them credit for following through with it. I don't think it's the last time we're going to see Joel on the show. I think we're going to see flashbacks and stuff like that. I don't know. Chat, what do you think? Did you like it? Did you not? I see you guys are really talking about it in the chat. So, final thoughts on it. Did you like it? You not like it? I'm going to give it a thumbs up. I thought it was a good episode. I thought it was a strong episode. I think it's a really ballsy thing to do. So, yeah, I mean, I feel good about it. Let's read some of these super chats. And you actually go ahead and say what you were going to say, your thoughts on it or whatever.
No, like, I think, like, in terms of, like, an episode spectacle, I think it has one of the, like, most insane fight scenes I've ever seen in a show. Like, there's a Game of Thrones level action set piece.
The bloater looked great.
Because that's all new. That's all new original stuff. Like, I don't think this is a spoiler to say. Like, I think the decision to not have Tommy go with Joel, like to switch it around, have Dana go with Joe, have Jesse go with Ellie, and then have Tommy stay there and
in the town. Right. Yeah.
It's such a good decision because not only do we leave our city vulnerable for what what actions are going to proceed over these next couple episodes. Now Tommy's going to be in a very specific spot of like, I decided to stay here and help them fight. But if I would have left like I was going to, would my brother still be alive? And that's going to haunt him this season.
Right.
And that
was a good change of narrative in the show from the game to the show. All right, so Anthony Beltry here, a member for 55 months. Thank you so much, Anthony, for supporting the channel. Have you all watched The Pit? I have not.
I really want to, though. I hear it's fantastic.
Yeah.
You know what it's about? Because it has a really cool concept.
I'm trying to see here. is it a stream? It's a streaming show, right?
It's a Mac show. Yeah.
What is the concept of it? Because I'm not too familiar with it.
So have you seen 24?
Yes.
It's like 24, but it's like a medical show, and each episode is 1 hour out of a 24-hour hospital day, where it's like there's like this massive emergency. So it's 1 hour of each of that day for the whole season.
Okay,
basically.
cool. I'd have to check it out. All right, Cody, you're with the $5 super chat. Some people are mad about how that info came about in the show versus the game where it's halfway through. Which info are we talking about?
Some people are mad that the info came. What info?
Yeah, Cody, what are you talking about specifically?
The big thing, like the Joel thing? That's not halfway through.
The dad. That it was introduced early on. Yeah. Well, in the scene tonight because we watched it earlier this morning. In the scene where she's in the hallway and she kind of talks to herself as she's like experiencing this over again, this trauma and everything. I was like, this is different. Like the way they were revealing it in the show.
Yeah.
I thought it was okay. I don't have an issue with it only because without that context, it would have made it hard for viewers to understand why she was doing that to Joel.
It's
so
like, I love how it's done in the game because it challenges you as a player, right? That like you have to play as someone who just killed the main character. That's hard. That's tough. Yeah. I think, like you're saying, making it like easier for the audience though and keeping people aboard, I think it's smart early on to already make you care about the character that has done this terrible thing. And even with that added context, people are still like, no, screw this character, I hate this character, I can't believe this is a character. Like even with the added context, it's still hard for people. So
yeah,
I think it's smart.
Big Bang Shelter here with the $2 super chat. Too soon. The dad brought a scalpel to a gunfight. Yeah. I do remember, you've obviously played the games. When this happened in the game, did you have the same feeling that you have now, like that this was the wrong decision from Joel, or did you have to think about it a little bit?
What, the whole
his choice
killing the nurses?
Yeah, his choice in the game.
I've always kind of been pretty. It's tough because like, it's a question of like, morally was he right? Kind of right, just in the way of like wanting to save his daughter and like he doesn't. It's a very selfish decision because he doesn't want to have to lose another one. But it's like, man, you ruined all of humanity. Like this was their one singular chance, and it's hard, but it's a selfish move. It's a move I probably also would have made to some extent if given those abilities, right? Of like, it's tough, and like there isn't necessarily a right answer. It's an impossible situation. Either way, you're a morally great character.
Okay, so we are 6 out of 10 super chats. We only need 4 more. I have a feeling we're going to reach that in the next 30 minutes. So you guys are awesome. Remember, it's a super chat of any tier. If you're watching on the Reloaded channel, we're only 4 away. You guys have been amazing. So I put up the poll for options. Let me read out what they are before we talk about our next topic, which might be our last topic. We'll see how long it goes. A bonus Sunday stream, which I'll do like early Sunday afternoon. MCU TV show ranking stream. So just MCU TV shows. And I will pick the criteria for the ranking because it's not going to be simple. It'll be something like, best action or something like that. Arrowverse Flash suit ranking. So we'll be ranking every or not just the Flash suit. All the costumes from every character in the Flash will be ranked. And Arrowverse Arrow suit ranking, which is also all of the suits. That's going to be really tough. I'm going to have to go through and upload so many pictures. But if you guys pick it, we'll do it. All right. And we have another super chat right here. It's about Last of Us. This is going to be a tough one, I can tell you right now. $2 super chat from yours truly. What's better, last episode or Bill and Frank's episode? So do you want me to talk about it from... gosh, this is tough. I want to fence sit on this one because I think they're both really good, but I think I probably have to pick one. Okay, I think the Bill and Frank episode is, if it like outside of the context of the show, like if you take that episode and you show that to somebody with just the context of what's going on, right? Zombie apocalypse, 2 guys in love with each other, living together in this world, trying to make everything as normal as possible. that alone as an episode of TV, I think, and I said this when we watched the season, might be one of the best episodes of television ever made.
I agree.
As a standalone episode. However, I think this past episode that we just watched in the context of the show is a better episode in the Last of Us show.
Sure, yeah.
Because it does more. Like, we have an action scene, we have so many other things that are going on. So I think it's a better episode within the context of the show. Now, if you were to ask me, like, which one is my favorite, not which one is better, my favorite episode would probably be the Bill and Frank episode, because I think it's just a better episode of television as individually. But I think the better episode overall would probably be the one that we just watched, because it's more than just what that one story was. But I don't think it's like, this is one of those, like, chop off your left hand or your right hand kind of questions. Like, I don't know if there is a right answer to this.
Yeah.
But I do think that there are people that watched that one episode from last season that don't even watch the show, and they were blown away by how well it was done. So, yeah.
I agree. Like, I think it might be my favorite episode of TV ever. Like, it
Really?
is in my opinion. It might be. Like, I would have to go back and look at all the episodes and stuff like that.
I mean,
but, like,
you don't really get those kinds of love stories in general, and so then you get
No.
that love story in a supernatural, like, science fiction
it's
world. It's just, yeah,
beautiful. It was such a, not to get all, like, quote unquote woke on you, but, like, it was such a, like, a victory for
Yeah.
the community at the time. Like, it really called out all of the horrible, terrible people that are like, we want original characters to be given these stories.
It was
We're
a
like,
self-report
okay.
on all of them, basically.
It was like,
a
okay,
self-report.
here.
Because
It's like,
you couldn't argue that the episode was badly done.
no.
Which means that the only thing you're complaining about is the material in the episode at that point.
Yeah.
It's,
It was like, yeah, like the like two big critiques that people throw around where it's like, well, we want to like give that to original characters, don't make our already established characters gay or woman or
Right.
whatever. It's like, okay, here are original characters that we're doing this with those already established in the game, and they're like, yeah, but just don't force it down our throats. It's like, it's not. They're not forcing anything. It's just two people in love. This is their story. It's not a gay love story. It's just a love story, and it just caught out all those people. It was. I don't know. Like I don't know if I ever saw like a gay representation on that level on so many eyes,
Right.
It's like to that level, and that was like such a special moment, I think, for a lot of people.
well, I mean, I told people, I was like, at the time I was like 48 years old. So I'm like, I'm an old person. And like, I can't remember ever in my
Right.
life
Yeah.
where I've seen something that was the opposite of like thrown in your face or forced or virtue signaling or whatever. Like, it really was like everyone involved with making that episode, with Nick Offerman and everybody on the team that came together to do it, gave a shit about what they were doing. And so it showed in the episode. Because you could say, like, we've talked about this before. I don't necessarily disagree that sometimes diversity in something feels tokenized, or it feels like
Sure.
it was there because the studio wanted to toss it in there or whatever. But I'll never argue against it, because I think representation is super important. So I'm never going to be like, it shouldn't be there. I mean,
Right.
unless it interferes with the story or screws up the story somehow, I don't really have an issue with any of that.
And also, just
yeah.
like really quickly, like there's not a lot of like older men getting representation like that, right?
Yeah.
Like normally in queer stories, it's teenagers or young
It's like
kids or
Heartstopper or something like that.
it's like people that are
Yeah.
coming out for the first time. These are people that have known they're gay their whole life.
Right.
These aren't like, this isn't necessarily, yes, it's like a tragedy, yes, but
Mhm.
like it's not like, it's technically a happy ending for those two characters. Which
Well, they
also
changed it.
doesn't
They
matter.
actually changed it from the game to make it
Yeah.
better. I
Yeah.
think the way it ended in the episode is better than the way it ended in the game. So, anyway, we're on our soapbox a little bit much. Today.
Yeah.
I want to talk about Sinners. Only, have you seen Sinners yet?
I'm going tomorrow.
Okay, so we're not going to talk about. I want to talk about the numbers and the reaction and some of the controversy around a tweet that Variety put out. So we're going to look at that. But we do have a super chat here. South Texas Shark contributing with one of his great questions there. We are 8 out of 10, you guys. 2 super chats away. We're so close on the Reloaded channel. What is the frozen pizza you talk about, Eric? So what is the frozen? What does that mean? What is a frozen pizza? I guess I don't understand the question
Favorite
totally.
frozen pizza? Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So this is a very pagey coded question. So if he were here, I'm sure he'd have a lot of thoughts about this because there's a lot of Australian frozen pizza that we don't have. Okay. So very quickly, and Darren, you can of course give your favorite, but I have a process with this because I am a pizza connoisseur. I love pizza. I could eat pizza every day for every meal. I am like how Garfield thinks of lasagna. That's how I think of pizza. It's also it's sort of a comfort food for me. And let me explain why. So when I was younger, there were 2 times that pizza were really important to me. So explain. My grandfather, who basically raised me, incredible man. Whenever I would stay over with him and my grandmother, there was this little pub nearby, a little bar nearby, that made pizza. He would always buy a pizza for me at the pub when he was done with like his happy hour or whatever, and bring it home with him to give to me. So I always have fond memories of that. The other one is when we were hanging out at the house, me, my mom, my brother. He would go buy pizza, pick up a pizza, and bring it over with him whenever he came to see us, just so we could have pizza. Even if he didn't know if we had dinner or whatever, he would still bring it over. So pizza's always been very near and dear to me, right? With that being said, if we're talking about frozen pizzas, my favorite frozen pizza for years was a company called Freschetta, and they made a sauce stuffed crust pizza. They no longer make. It was my favorite one. This is when they were still owned by the original company that owned them. And they had a spicy sauce inside the crust. So you would eat the pizza, and then the pizza crust would be like a breadstick, but instead of having to dip it in the sauce was already in it. Hands down, literally my favorite frozen pizza of all time, but they don't make it anymore. So now my favorite frozen pizza would probably be, if I had to pick, there's this thing called, I think it's Screamin' Sicilian. They do like a thin crust pizza. It's great. It's great. It's the one that has the mustache on the box. Anyway, really good. If I don't do that one, I always do the Detroit style pizza from DiGiorno. They have like a square Detroit style pizza. My favorite pizza of all time though. Oh yeah, the Red Baron brick oven pizza is awesome. But my favorite pizza type
So
of
hungry.
well, as soon as we're done here, now I'm gonna have to go make a pizza. My favorite pizza type of all time though is Chicago deep dish pizza. I love all that thick, different layers of cheese with the sauce on top of the cheese, with all the Parmesan sprinkled on top of it, and then the crust that comes up on the side of the oatmeal crust, whatever it is. Oh gosh, I'm starting to get really hungry.
I'm really.
So anyway, so that's probably my favorite. But thank you so much. All right, everybody wants pizza. Thank you for successfully doing that, South Texas Shark. I do appreciate the question. Again, 2 super chats away, you guys, on the Reloaded channel. We have like 15 minutes left. Come on, you can do it. Any super chat of any tier. And then we're going to pick one of the things on the list. Oh, 3Dubs here. Mine is stuffed cheese pizza. Well, if I'm picking pizza from like pizza delivery, it's the hand-tossed pizza from Domino's, which is my favorite.
Have you had? I don't really like Little Caesars much, but they have their like pretzel crust pizza there.
Ooh, that's also really good.
So good. Oh my gosh.
Okay. Let's pull this up here onto the stream. So, Sinners, which, by the way, this movie looked good. All the previews I saw of it were good. Officially opens to $63.5 million at the worldwide box office. Biggest domestic opening this decade. We're 5 years into the decade. Biggest domestic opening this decade for an original film.
Yeah.
This is a massive success.
Huge win.
What does this mean for Ryan and his team? Because he's pretty much on fire, really, with everything that he makes. I mean, he's also, people forget, I think his team is behind Ironheart too, isn't it? Like the TV show? Doesn't he have, isn't there some sort of like crossover from his writers and stuff?
There might be a little bit. I know I think he did the animated show, Eyes of Wakanda. I think he has.
Oh, I forgot about that. That's actually going to be really good, I think.
Yeah. No, I think like this is a huge one. Like this is what we're asking for. This is what we're striving for. We all love franchises we all like sequels and reboots, but like this is this is big. This is important. This is, and I think this, and I think he was always kind of in a semi conversation. I think this was going to officially lift him up in the greatest directors of all time conversation.
Yeah. I want to point out also, this looks really bad that Blade can't get off the ground when he's over here doing a vampire movie. And honestly, this being so successful, unfortunately, might push Blade out completely because Marvel might not even want to. Because I think Blade was supposed to be like a 1920s vampire movie.
And it was like a MCU director with 2 MCU stars. Like it feels like it should be an MCU movie, but it's. And apparently it's supposed to start a universe. I don't know if you've heard this. It has 2 post-credit scenes, and apparently it sets up stuff.
Well, I'm seeing this on Wednesday is when I'm going to see it. So I'll be able to talk about it on Thursday when we do the stream. But I'm totally looking forward to it. So let's talk about... Oh, actually, we got a super chat quickly. We are 1 super chat away from the goal, you guys. 1 super chat because of Neon Zephyr with a $2 super chat, who's saying, I got my return today. Congratulations. Holy shit. The filing day was just a few days ago. I got my return today so I could afford to help. Thank you for the $2, Neon Zephyr. Wow. So, like, you got yours back quick. I'm going to be waiting forever. Mine always takes forever. Always takes forever. I don't know why. I guess it's because I have so many things I'm doing. I have so many of my own businesses and everything. It just takes forever.
Is that true, Jaden?
Which one?
Bo DeMeo was supposed to direct Blade?
Yes, that was true.
That's crazy.
All right. Here we go. So this is what I wanted to talk about. So this is the tweet from Variety. I want to see what the community notes are because I am a contributor for community notes, so I want to see what it says. Sinners has amassed 61 million in its global debut. It's a great result for an original R-rated horror film. Yet the Warner Brothers release has a 90 million price tag before global marketing expenses. So profitability remains a ways away. That's a little... I mean, the movie had a great opening weekend. It's done considerably well. Why would they have a negative, like anything negative attached to this?
That's just like opening weekend. Like they're pretty close to their goal.
But that's what everybody's been saying. Like this, they're close to hitting their production budget.
Yeah.
On domestic. I can guarantee by the end of this week, this movie is going to break even. Yeah. By the end of this upcoming weekend.
Because, I mean, I think people have really started to underestimate the power of positive reviews. I really do think that's a major, major part of successful box office nowadays. I think outside of things like Minecraft, which is an anomaly, people are waiting to see if things are good, right? So those early projections are always kind of low. They're like, I don't know. The reviews is what's saving this movie. Everyone is coming out of this and being like, this is not only one of the best of the year, people are saying it's one of the best of all time.
Yeah,
people
that's
are saying
what
this is an instant hit. This is a must watch. And people are like, oh, even myself were like, I was excited. I wasn't that excited, right? But now that you hear that, it's like, oh, I must go see this movie. And everyone else is having that same exact epiphany. So I think very similarly to like Everything Everywhere All at Once, because that did not open well. People did not go that opening weekend, but once I found out it was a masterpiece, they're like, "Oh, let me go watch that."
But you would also think that like Variety as a trade that does promote like really like it would be different if the movie were bad, right? If the movie were a bad movie, it was being poorly received. I could see them sort of, as much as I disagree with it, I could see them sort of like playing the negativity angle. But you have a movie here that, and we're going to look at Rotten Tomatoes in a second, that seems to be very well received by both critics and fans. And most people that I've seen, I actually haven't even seen one real negative review of the movie, honestly.
There's one.
You've seen one?
There's like on Rotten Tomatoes, everyone loved it except for one guy. One guy pulled the whole thing down.
Okay. Well, it's just weird because here we got Frank that goes, A Tale of Two Movies, similar deal structures, similar budgets. One made $45 million from 3,300 screens as a Tarantino film post-pandemic and won the weekend. The other made $41 million from 3,600 screens pre-pandemic and placed in second. Yet this is the coverage. And then let's click what this says here. Yeah. So the one we just read here, it goes, Ryan Coogler's original horror film was expected to sell a strong 46 million winning tickets over the weekend, enough for number one, but its profitability remains a long way off, right? And then over here it goes, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is a box office hit. Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt helped the director score one of the biggest opening weekends of his career. And here we have it shows you that they're very similar in terms of that. So also I want to point out it's two different writers. So they're two different people. So I do understand that case. But I think it's kind of weird that why is one considered the road to success and the other one is considered like underperforming, and that it's on the struggle path. You know what I mean? Like I don't. That's a little weird. Let's look at Rotten Tomatoes here.
Yeah, I mean it's unfortunately they know those are going to get the clicks, right? Like, I mean, it's just like that one guy I told you about. No one is talking about any of the positive things everyone's saying about it, but that one guy, the one person that is like, hey, it's not as good as people are saying. That guy's getting so much attention. Right. Everyone's talking about it. It's just like what we talk about. Negativity gets attention. The article is going to get coverage because guess what? It worked. We're talking about it right now. So their plan has worked.
Well, the good thing, though, is I think that the negativity isn't really going to affect the box office of this. I think it's going to do really well. So let's take a look here. So we have, look at this. 98% from critics, 97% from fans.
Yeah.
And the critics review, we're looking at 273 reviews. That's pretty much everybody. We might get a couple more, but that's pretty much everybody. So this is one of those movies where I wish nothing but success to Ryan, Michael, everybody involved with this. Nothing but success, because we are starving for original content that's really good. This is being said that it's like one of the best films that people have ever seen. It's a vampire period piece. Like, I'm excited for this. I want this to be good. We need, look, I love our fandom stuff. I love DC. I love Marvel. I will always support that kind of stuff. But I also love individual, brand new created IPs that might lead into something bigger. This could end up being a new universe of movies. We could get spinoffs, we could get TV shows, we could get all kinds of stuff from this. And I'm okay with that. And look, I'm absolutely fine if it's just a trio. If they just do 3 of these films and call it a day, I'd be fine with that too.
Yeah.
I am excited to go see this movie. So
even if it's just one, like if they put out one really, really good movie and it's a cult classic.
But I guarantee Warner Brothers, if they see this as a 90 million price tag, look, if this movie ends up, I wonder what the projections are. Let me type in and see what the actual projections are for this. What are the box office predictions for?
It is going to be a little frustrating if this is a really. I mean, it's good if it's a good year for Warner Brothers. But David Zaslav is going to see the success and be like, oh, I did something right. I did this. I saved the studio. It's like, well, I don't think any of what's going on this year is up to you or really any of the people that are making those big decisions. It's your creatives that are making good projects.
Yeah. It says here that the most conservative estimates from analysts say the movie is going to be north of 300 million.
Yeah.
If this movie with a $90 million budget gets north of 300 million, Warner Brothers will be ecstatic. It will be, they will be talking to Ryan. They'll be talking to Michael and say, we have to do more of this easily. They're saying that 170 million is the amount that would look like a break-even point for them. And I feel like we're going to see that by the end of the weekend. I feel like we're going to see that by the end of the weekend.
Well, let me look at the calendar really quickly. So we have all of this week and all of next week that it can kind of thrive, right? Like that's when it's going to really, Minecraft is doing well, but it's slowing down, and it's a slightly different demo. I'm curious what Thunderbolts is going to look like, though, because that's the kind of its first big piece of like competition. Like I wonder if it will begin to slow down a little bit, or if it will, because again, they are different demos. Like the people watching Thunderbolts probably aren't watching Sinners, so this is rated R, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So. Hold on, let me close this here. Yeah, somebody mentioned we're going to watch that quick clip from Lanterns, but we do have a super chat, which we've hit the goal on the Reloaded channel. Thank you guys so much. Michael DeFonte here with $2 super chat. Superman and Fantastic Four movies, let's effing go. Yeah, that month I'm going to be so exhausted from going to the theaters because we have so much to look at in that month. I don't know what I'm going to do, honestly. But I'm excited for it. I genuinely want most of these movies to succeed. I I just feel it's so crowded in that month. So
It's not even just next month. It starts like May.
right now, right in May, yeah.
Starting with Thunderbolts, almost every week or like every other week there's a big movie. Like May alone, it's Thunderbolts, it's Lilo and Stitch, it's Mission Impossible, it's Karate Kid, and then it goes from June to July, and then we don't have a slow month until August. So these next 3 months are going to be batshit crazy. Every week a new blockbuster, or we're going to be preparing for a new blockbuster. So it's going to be it's going to be fun.
All right, so quickly before we wrap things up, and we're going to see what you guys voted on in the poll, we will watch the Red Guardian thing on Monday. I'll keep it in the bookmarks. It's not a big deal. It's just a little fun clip. We'll watch it then. So this is stunt coordinator Justin Rayner gives a sneak peek on how Hal and John take flight in Lanterns. A grounded series doesn't mean the show won't have any wonder in it, coming to HBO in 2026. So it's a very short clip of him showing like the stunt work that's going into this. I will say that this raises my optimism up to know that they are going to be at least flying at the show, so that's good. But I will say I'm not too impressed with the way it looks. But let's take a look and see. Let's just see what you guys think about this. Here we go. Round and stuff like that. Stop it here. So there's that. So I'm happy that they're actually going to be flying. So that's a good thing. Yes, it says testing. Yeah, I'm aware of that. I get it. Anyway, thank you guys so much. Let's see what you have selected over here on the channel. See what you guys want. I'm going to end the poll. Vote now or forever hold your peace. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Ending the poll. What do you guys vote for? You want 38% is a bonus Sunday stream during the day. Now, here's something exciting that I wanted to talk about. Starting in probably in May, maybe even sooner than that, we're going to be doing, or I'm going to be doing, probably an extra 2 streams a week.
Wow.
During the daytime. Like the middle of the day. So we're talking like probably, I don't know, maybe Monday day or Tuesday day or something. Now, it's not going to cover the same stuff we cover here. It's basically going to be breaking news. So I'll be sitting here watching Twitter, watching Reddit, things like that. And we'll just be talking about things that are breaking as they happen. The stream delay makes the countdown timer funnier to me. I know, that's why I did it. I wanted to give people a chance. I'm not sure of the total format yet, but I will be streaming more often, and it might even be like specific things. Like one day the stream is just about the Arrowverse or something like that, but there'll be bonus streams during the week, during the day. We'll still be doing like late night Nerdcast streams, but I wanted to do something during the day as well, because a lot of people have said that they would like to come to the stream, but it's too late at night for them. So I want to give other people an opportunity to be here. So we'll be doing that. I'm going to come up with the branding for it, all that stuff, like as I did for this. I love doing all the color schemes and the branding. Anyway, so there's that. However, ever since Shark mentioned pizza, my stomach has been sitting here
hungry,
going after it. So we're going to get out of here. But thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you, Darren, for coming in and hanging out with me. 3Dub, sorry, I didn't see you till like 15 minutes ago, so I don't know how long you've been here. But next time when I message you, respond sooner. Sorry. Anyway, have a good night, everyone. And we're going to be talking about Sinners on Thursday. So if you have not seen it and you care about spoilers and you haven't been spoiled yet, go out and see it this week and come and chat with us on Thursday. I'll probably save it for the end of the stream. Anyway, have a good night. Thank you guys so much. Go over and check out Darren's replayed video. He was streaming before this, so you've got like another 3 hours of content to watch. So anyway, take care.